This is Kreskin, and of course you know me as the Amazing Kreskin. I have a film that you're going to be able to access on Netflix that is going to be very controversial and talked about, I think, for many, many weeks or months to come. It's the very nature of the film. The title is The Devil on Trial. It's a documentary, The Devil on Trial is, that you can and will probably want to access on Netflix. You're going to have to watch this and listen to the commentary on it. It's a trial of Arne Johnson, known as the Devil Made Me Do It case. It's almost unheard of. I've never heard of this in my life in watching documentaries and hearing them. But it's a courtroom situation. He claimed in this courtroom demonic possession and denied responsibility for the crime of murder he committed in 1991. Bear in mind, he denied any responsibility for that crime, of which, interestingly enough, he insists he has absolutely no memory of. He was convicted of first-degree manslaughter for the killing of his landlord, Alan Bono. According to testimony, 12-year-old David Glatzel originally played host to a demon. That's right, a figure of some kind that's found its way into the personality of this individual, not in real life, but in some other claimed phenomena. David was experiencing unexplained phenomena, as I said before, and they had seen David being beaten, friends and family, and choked by invisible hands that ended up with red marks on parts of his body as a result, apparently, of the hands that the spirit entities were administering. David stared and started to growl. He stared aimlessly, literally growling and hissing and speaking otherworldly voices and reciting passages from the Bible and, yes, Paradise Lost. His family would remain awake at night to observe his suffering through spasms and endless conversions. Actually, I met David Glatzel, now a grown man, in October of 2022 at the Warren Paranormal Expo at Mohegan Sun. It was dealing with unusual, unexplained phenomena, and in some cases, apparently claimed spirit communications. David's family brought psychic spirit investigators to try to analyze what David was going through, and they included Catholic priests as well as professional psychic analyzers. According to those present, a demon fled the 12-year-old child's body and took residence. This is what they claim, took residence with Arne Johnson. Months later, Johnson killed his landlord during a party. Unbelievable as this may sound. Johnson claimed no memory. Can you imagine? Claimed absolutely no memory of the experience. And his defense attorney insisted that the possession was so powerful, although he had no memory of what was going on in that time. Johnson was subsequently convicted. And as the defense attorney said, there were no laws that would allow the blame and the accusation to be on to spirit communication. In other words, you could not ever use as the excuse and the reason for the crime, that you are possessed by a spirit. He was sentenced to a 10 to 25-year period, but only remained in prison for 5 years, apparently getting out early for good behavior. As I said, I met the gentleman who apparently transferred this experience to him. I met him at a conference some years ago, and he seemed no signs of abnormality, revealed no strange, disturbing qualities about him. But this is something, understand that certain authorities, as they call themselves, on the spirit world, claim could have happened and possibly very well did happen. It's a whole area of behavior and how the blame is to be handled, especially when you consider that these people, many of them, absolutely insist they have no such recall of the experience, so it cannot be relived when they are being treated. Well, folks, all I can tell you at this point is to be continued.